Camus Boats, from the mind of Earl Bentz. Excellence, tradition, and service, all part of the Camus advantage. On the water, perfection. This is your next boat. Build your next boat at camusboats.com. Ducket Fishing, pro-driven rods, reels, and baits. The choice of champions. Check out ducketfishing.com to see what everybody's talking about. Ducket Fishing, pro-driven. We'll get those life vest zipped and clips, strap down those rods, and stow away those tackle bags because we are going fishing. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bass Wranglers Podcast. I'm your host, Keith Nicewanger. I hope this episode finds you with 5 for 25 in your live well. Are you still putting fish in your live well? I mean, who doesn't want a glory shot of you and your buddy mugging for the camera? I admit it. It doesn't happen for me very often. I don't very often have 5 for 25 in my live well. In fact, on those rarest of occasions when I do have a good bag, sure I want a picture. In fact, here it is again. I don't get to post stuff very often like this. Can you blame me? I once had a discussion with a shot caller for a big industry company, and I asked him, what kind of things do you look for when it comes to sponsoring anglers? And I kid you not, what he told me was very profound. He said, Keith, the biggest turnoff for me is those end of the day glory pictures. When a guy poses at the end of the day with 2 or 3 giants, what does that mean? I really didn't know what he was looking for in the answer, so I just kind of shrugged. I didn't have a response to that. But he continued and said, Keith, those glory pictures imply that angler caught those fish, put them in the live well, and basically kept them in the live well all day as they continued to search for big fish. And that meant those fish were stressed. It meant that those fish were meant for a glory picture. And so when I see a picture like that, I'm quite turned off by it. These were his words. And it really kind of caused me to think about it in a different way. I hadn't really thought about that before. Of course I've posed for glory pictures in those rare opportunities that I've had a chance to do it. But his comment was, catch those fish, take an individual picture with each one, and then let them go. Don't put fish through that stress. He went on to tell me, take 3 or 4 pictures of these fish individually. That's what I find to be impressive. Now, I don't know if he's the only person in the industry that has that opinion, but he did make a good point. Those end of the day pictures, they're great, but there's an underlying theme to it. There's an implied amount of stress that we have put these fish through just so we could have a glory picture. It's a good thing I don't have this opportunity very often. Oh, by the way, did I show you this picture yet? We actually finished in 2nd place in this event. It's championship season in the world of professional bass fishing. Just about a week ago, Easton Fothergill won the Bassmaster Classic at Lake Ray Roberts in Texas. And this week, the Major League Fishing's Redcrest event is kicking off at Lake Guntersville in Alabama. It's an excellent opportunity for us to take a look at the 2 organizations and to kind of compare the formats. Really, both organizations have really completely different worldviews of the sport of bass fishing, and I think it's kind of interesting to look at both. One organization uses a 5-fish limit, the term limit implying that you're limited to just the biggest 5 fish that you can catch. The term limit also implies that if your smallest fish in the live well is a 3-pounder and you catch a 5-pounder, well, then that's only going to count as 2 pounds for you. Is that too much math? That'll make you madder than an NGO getting doged by Elon Musk.
Get her done!
The 5-fish limit also incentivizes an angler to leave a productive area so as not to burn through fish. it incentivizes that angler to slow down, because nobody wants to lose the value of a bigger fish when you've already got a live well full of fish. The other organization uses an every fish counts format, and anglers are not limited, meaning that if you catch a 5-pounder, no matter what part of the day it is, it still counts as a 5-pounder. So there's no incentive to slow down. In fact, just the opposite. You can't take a break. I mean, there's no stopping for a sandwich in these every fish count events, because your competition is going to continue catching fish. So there is no incentive to slow down to conserve fish. In this other organization, there are several compelling phases to the week. There is a cut line that always involves quite a bit of drama as we get closer to the end of that initial round. There are always anglers just above the cut line or just below the cut line that are battling it out to make it to the next round. There's a knockout round where the top 20 get reduced down to the top 10. And so that presents a whole nother level of drama as we get close to the end. And there are the anglers that are in that 12 through 8 range are battling to stay above or to get above that cut line. And then we have the final day where the weights are zeroed and it's a mad dash to the finish line. Very compelling format. One organization uses Bubba scales to allow the anglers to report their weights. Let's make that one a 2-pounder. So we don't have an exact idea of how things are going. In fact, in cases where anglers are sandbagging, we may not know at all what is going on. The other organization uses officials to weigh, record, and report the results so that we always know what the score is. It's a sporting event, and we always know the score. And so do the anglers. Take your pick. Some like the 5-fish format. Some like the every fish counts format. There's good arguments on either side, and it really comes down to what you prefer. But there's another stark difference between the two organizations, and it is a matter of conservation and stewardship. While both organizations claim that they care about the resource, which is the bass that we love to chase, each organization has their own methods for protecting the fish. One organization still puts fish in the live well, keeps them there all day as anglers drive around the lake looking for more fish. Then at the end of the day, they sack up these fish and drive them as much as an hour to an arena where the fish wait to be weighed in. And then they are handled again, brought to the scales, pictures are taken, and then the fish get put. I actually don't know where the fish get put. I assume that at the end of the day, after the fish have been weighed in the arena, they go into another holding tank of some sort, and then the fish are transported back to the lake and released. I'm assuming that's what happens. I've never really seen that side of the event. Still, there can be no doubt that in this format, with the live weigh-in and the long truck/boat ride to the arena, there can be no doubt that fish are being stressed. And with recent reports about fish mortality in tournaments, I think you see where I'm going with this. The other organization has boat officials who weigh the fish, log the results, and the fish are released back immediately, having been out of the water 30 seconds, 45 seconds, not much more than that. The more I watch professional bass fishing, the more I'm convinced that BAS's tournament format is flawed and outdated. I don't want to pick on one side or the other, but come on. Look at the stress we put bass through at that Bassmaster Classic weigh-in. We don't need weigh-ins anymore. I get it. We need to be able to promote the event sponsors. Completely understand that. But when I think about what that industry insider told me several years back about how turned off he was by glory shots, it makes me think that this whole idea of going to a weigh-in, holding up these fish, it just seems outdated to me. I'd love to hear what you think about this. Please drop me a message and let's have a dialogue. I'm Keith Neiswanger. This is the Bass Tour Anglers Podcast. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you'd like to reach us, please send us a direct message on Instagram at Bass Tour Anglers Podcast. Take care. Be safe. We'll talk to you next time.